In this lesson, we are going to be working on writing equations of absolute value functions. If you take a look at example number 1, we're simply going to do the reverse of what we did when we graphed absolute value functions. So the first thing that we are going to do is to find out where the vertex is in our particular function. So in this case, our vertex is at the point 4, 3. To determine the a value, we're simply going to find the slope. So remember, slope is rise over run. So in this case, since we're going down, our rise is going to be down 2 and over 1 unit if we draw our slope triangle. So our a value will be negative 2 over 1, which is really negative 2. And we know it's negative because our absolute value function opens down. We continue to remember that our absolute value function opens infinite left and right, which is our x values. So x is an element of the reals. And because our absolute value function is opening down, it's going to be less than or equal to our k value, which is 3. So to write the equation now, we just have to substitute the values in. Our a value is negative 2. X minus our h value, which is 4, plus our k value, which is 3. And that would be the equation of that absolute value function. Let's take a look at the next example. So when we're writing this absolute value function, our vertex is at the point negative 1, 3. To determine our a value, we're looking at our slope, which is rise over run. So we're going to go down 3 and over 4 units, drawing in our slope triangle, down 3 and over 4. So our a value is going to be negative 3/4, and we know that it's negative because it's opening down. Our domain is x is an element of the real numbers since we're going infinitely left and right. And our range, since we're opening down, is going to be less than or equal to 3. Then when we write our equation, we simply substitute in the values. Our a value is negative 3/4. Absolute value of x minus h minus negative 1 would be plus 1. And then plus our k value, which is 3. So that's the equation for that absolute value function. In our next example, our vertex is given to us as the point 0, 2. To determine the a value, we want the slope, which is rise, this time going up, and then run to the next point that our v crosses. So we're going up 1 and over 2. Our a value would be 1/2. Our domain, x is an element of the real numbers. Our range, since our function is going up, y then will be greater than or equal to 2. And when we write our equation, our a value is 1/2 as we substitute in x minus 0. We don't need to write that in. We can just leave it as x and then plus 2. Those are our samples for writing equations of the absolute value functions. It is now time for you to try these 3 examples on your own, and we will go through them when we meet the next time.